Alright, BobalosRex here, and my lore rant today is basically I put together a list of all my current theories that I have cooking going into, you know, we know what 11.1.7 is, we know what 11.1.5 is. I want to take time to, this is partially for myself too, to have where I'm thinking what my thoughts are going into 11.2, which we don't know yet, and going into, Midnight, the World Soul Saga, and all that's ahead. I'm gonna go full screen because I want to actually show my notes. But look at me. I'm out here, imagining a little neighborhood here somewhere someday that I get to make my own little house and I can do videos from my house. It's gonna be great. Okay, but let's go full mode. We going. This is full enough mode. All right, because I want to show my notebooks. So here's the list we're gonna go through. You can barely see it, but I am gonna show some other stuff as we're going through my theories. So let's go down my list first. So 11.2. Where are my current thoughts? Haranir and World Core. I think we are going down into the World Core with Haranir and Titan stuff. I know there's a lot of forces out there. We're getting the ethereal, Koresh, all that stuff. It feels like that could be here, right? It really does. And I feel like I'm taking the jump to still be on this World Core train. But I want to be on this train. This is the train I want to be on. I want to be going to the World Core and the Haranir in 11.2. You can have a whole renown with the Haranir. We're the faction with Orwena. There's the bad faction, and then there's Titans, and then there's a whole World Core Vada story stuff. And Thrall gets to do something. Gonna be good. That's my hope. I think the Koresh storyline is pure setup for Midnight. Why not set up an expansion ahead of time, especially in the saga that we're in? So that's what I want to believe. I think Koresh is Midnight, and I think 11.2 is Haranir World Core. Okay, next up, Azeroth is in a Titan prison. I feel like a lot of us are on that train. I feel like it's very obvious what the Manifold is and what the World Core is. Aman'Thul will say, no, it's keeping Azeroth safe. I say it's a prison. Azeroth don't want it on her. I have my Cosmic Cube theory. I'm going to show more about that later, but if you think about the forces, right? Light, void, void, arcane, or order, disorder, life, void, right? And then you think about the elements in between, like fire, spirit, earth magic, water, shadow magic. I think when the first ones created the universe, you have the fundamental force, the cosmic forces, right? And then where they connect is how we get the magics that we see. And there's more. I'm gonna pull up the page for that. Here, I'll pull up the page when I go through the pages. But yeah, I'll explain that more. Sargeras tried to free Azeroth. I now believe that when Sargeras stabbed the planet, it was to break the Manifold, to break the World Core, to free Azeroth, not to kill her. Okay? And I think when he did, or maybe it was to kill her, and that's where he was aiming. He was aiming to break the Titans' stranglehold on Azeroth. Because I think we don't know Sargeras' full story. I think we're being lied to about some of the stuff, like some of Sargeras' motivation, similar to how we were lied to about Illidan's motivations. Not lied to, but we only saw this side of it. Okay. We like, similar to Illidan, as in Sargeras may have gotten mad at Aman'Thul and killed the Titans, that being bad. That is still bad. But he was mad about something worse than we thought. Okay? Is what I'm kind of saying. Because people already want to say Sargeras was right. And I'm like, with what we know, not completely, but maybe with this Azeroth stuff, maybe he is right. And I now think Sargeras may have known about the Jailer's plans. So, also, while we're on the demon subject, I think there are Lords of Fel. We see Order having Titans. Okay, we see, which kind of function differently. You know, the Titans do some move around in the main universe a little bit more freely than some of the other forces. But we see the Void Lords. We see the Light Lords. Theoretically, we already know they kind of exist. Then we got the Eternal Ones in the Shadowlands, and supposed life Eternal Ones, life ones, right? The Life Lords in the Lifelands, like Elune, possibly. So, where are the Fel Lords, the Lords of Fel, the Lords of Disorder, as I want to call them? I think there's more behind. I think there may be Lords of the Twisting Nether that we've never seen. Okay? The Sargeras kind of just took demons to start his Burning Crusade and corrupted stuff. Is there something beyond in the Twisting Nether, like the Lords of Disorder? I really think there is something beyond it. Denathrius will make a comeback, 100%. Farak being the new Fire Lord, I'm for that theory. Alright. Sargeras and Illidan team up. I think Sargeras and Illidan may team up. Out of all the crazy stuff that could happen with Sargeras, Illidan, and the Titans, I want to see him convince Illidan that the Titans did some fucked up shit. Like, the second Sargeras is down, Illidan's like, I'm gonna slash you up. Sargeras is gonna be like, bro, do you want to know what those Titans did to your Well of Eternity? And Illidan's gonna be like, wait, what? And Aman'Thul's gonna be like, shut your ass up, Sargeras. Moving on, Aman'Thul lied and Earthen died. I stand by that statement. Aman'Thul's a liar, and Earthen have been dying for him. Odin will be involved with the Titans' return. Like, whatever we're doing in Northrend, Odin will 100% involved. I can see Odin being like, Titans, come help me. They're beating me up, these dragons. I was frozen. Help me. That's Odin. I think Tyr will do something. He ain't did nothing yet. But mark my words. Tyr will do something. But you know who's also going to do something? I really believe Undead Paladins are coming. Not maybe inside. I hope inside. I'm praying inside. But I think they are coming in retail too. Paladins are coming in retail. Night Elf Paladins are coming. At some point, they have to be. I stand by this. They just need to make the mounts. Okay, that's it. Paladins just require mounts. The animations are kind of like there. Allied race trickle theory. Next patch, we're getting an allied race Haranir. If that's true, stage 1 of the allied race trickle theory is locked in. Okay, listen. If we get Haranir next patch, stage 1 of the allied race trickle theory is locked in. Okay? Stage 2, Ethereals in Midnight. Okay? We lock them in. Then we're really cooking. Okay? Then I'm gonna have my lore rant playlist. You can look at the full allied race trickle theory list. and look at what else I'm talking about. Okay, next one. Stratholme City in Midnight. We're moving into Midnight now. By the way, we're like, this is full Titan Soul Saga. Stratholme City will be a whole zone. Right? We're talking about North Lordaeron. Stratholme City, full zone. You know, while we're there, Zulaman will be a renowned track for the Horde in Midnight. If it's not, I will be mad. Zulaman renowned for the Horde in Midnight. Okay? The Alliance can have Silverwing something. Okay? There's an Alliance Pro group. Whatever. That's fine. I think there could be an Alliance and Horde renowned track in Midnight. That would be cool. I think people would want that. And like, you get a Horde renown for your Horde characters, and you get Alliance renown, and it's still account wide. You know, that's cool. That'd be fine. That's what I think. Sylvanas will return in Midnight. Also, we're going to get a Void Sunwell raid. There's going to be a Sunwell 2, but Void edition. And sometimes I think it could end with a Koresh opening or something like that. Something crazy, or Dementia's popping up. I think we're getting Void Sunwell. Alright. Iridikron, he's hiding in his hole in Northrend. Facts. I know this is theory. I feel like that's a fact. Ashara will return in Midnight. Elf expansion. Cheese, aka Shannon, aka Crumble, said it best. Naga are sea elves. That's what they are. Naga are sea elves. Prove me wrong. Primalists will bring us Shaman. Ex-Primalists are prime for Shaman for everybody. Night Elves. Humans. Humans should just be Shaman. I mean, like, what are we doing? Humans should be Shaman. Like, what are we doing here? It's like Kultiran Paladins. It's like, Kultiran can be Shaman and Druids. Humans can't. What? Gilneans can be Druids. What are we doing? What are we doing? But yeah, we need Shaman. Just make the totems. Blizzard. Make the totems. That's all we need. That's all they need is totems. Dalaran is going to get rebuilt by Last Titan. I know it's not a big theory. I know it's not unique to me. None of these theories may be unique to me. You know, some of them, I definitely may have heard first from other people, but it's like some of these just start right after the thing kind of happens that leads to it. But yeah, Dalaran for sure has to be rebuilt by the Last Titan. You know, I think we're gonna get a stand Dalaran, but I think we're gonna get like a main city Dalaran in Midnight. Yo, that's what you do. You build it back at its place in Midnight. Drama in Northrend again. It's like, Dalaran, load up. Aw, shit, here we go again. And flies off. Like, we gotta have Dalaran back in Northrend. It wouldn't be the same to be in Last Titan, new Northrend, without new Dalaran. I don't know, man. Some people would be like, no, that's too much. Oh, that's too much Dalaran. It needs to not be in Midnight, but after it getting destroyed, we need it back for Last Titan. Also, I will stand by this theory. I think the Order Halls will come back at some point by the Last Titan. Either in the Last Titan or before it. Also, Old Gods will return. The Old Gods ain't gone. N'Zoth ain't gone. N'Zoth knows what's up with him. He is in that dagger, like, hopping around. He's got a fish holding a dagger, flopping around. That's what he did. A fish grabbed that dagger and went slithering away. Avaloran, in my opinion, is 100% post Last Titan. I don't think we go to Avaloran. Well, hold up. Because there could be technicals where I get wrong. Avaloran will not be a continent that we run around freely until post Last Titan. Maybe we'll see glimpses of it, but I think the homeland of the Arathi, which clearly is set up to be Avaloran, which is past this like Titan Isle, I think is purely Last Titan stuff. I could be wrong there. That one's I just that feels like its own continent, not like a patch zone, right? To be in Midnight, to be in Last Titan, it would have to be a patch zone. It feels like a continent to me. But I think in Arathi fleet, because we met the third fleet, so that means there's a second and third or first fleet. I think one of them will pull up and we'll be like, "Oh, you're working with these heathens? We're gonna fight you." And Farron's gotta be like, "No, stop, no, why?" And she's gonna have to make that choice. But yeah, so that's all the theories on my list. But I wanted to go through my notebook here and pull out some of my other stuff. Here's my Illidan v Arthas lore rant. Y'all know where I stood there. We had, remember my 11.1.7 theories? I had the Panda patch, the Druid patch, or the Paladin patch. We're not really getting either, but the Arathi is close to Paladin. But, let me see. Did I get anything right? Nope. So that was a oof. We got Arathi stuff. I wasn't expecting it. What else did we get going on here? Allied race trickle theory. So what did I have? Earthen in 11.0. That was my first key. But I didn't get it before Earthen. That was just the starting point. 11.2 Haranir. 12.0 Ethereal. 12.2 Forest Trolls. Naga. You know, I feel like Forest Trolls could be customizations. Then I had 13.0 Tuskar, 13.2 Vrykul, and I also had Ogre or Broken could be on there. But I feel like every 0.0 and 0.2 patch, they're going to add an allied race. So we'll see how that goes. Talking about Gallywix, you know, we already did that. That was a lore rant. The class survey. Oh! I do think there's going to be a new class in Last Titan, and it's going to be Tinker. Tinker is my top pick, but I also made a Runebinder, a Dragoon, a Void Knight, and there was a fifth one. I was on my other paper. What else? What else? What else did we talk about so far? Lore Rant Nightfall. Did any of this stuff happen in Nightfall? None of the stuff I thought of happened in Nightfall. Nope. See, Undermine I did great. Undermine I did great. Nightfall, they kind of... And then the Arathi stuff. But I stand by the Haranir, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong about that too. Talked about crystals. Okay, but let's get into my big lore rant paper where I'm actually going to show stuff. So, this was the Drakthir Evoker paper. Y'all remember? I'm hoping we get Drakthir Order Hall at some point. Someday, at least. I talked about what I found in Legacy of Arathor, those lore walking. Lore walking is great. I did a lore rant, where the heck are the Haranir? And I really think we're going to get 11.2 Haranir. It's going to be full Haranir. That's why Orwena's with us. I did a lore rant about where the dragons... Because, seriously, where are the dragons? Like, legit. Oh, I did something for the Nerubian, too. I really hope we do see, like, a Nerubian epilogue. I hope we get the War Within epilogue thing. Undermine was great. Best zone ever. I hope we see more of the Archives questline. And that's why I'm thinking with the stuff we are getting, because we are getting Archive stuff in 11.7. A little bit. Like Dagran's doing stuff. I think that's going to be relevant going into this next patch. So I did a lore rain about the Archives questline, so we'll see what's up with that. Undead Paladins were here all along. You know, Alonzo Spal, secret Paladin, Undead Paladin order. Blizzard just has to make it. Alright. I did a classic lore rant. I feel like they could add so much stuff in classic. Side stuff they could do. Maybe I did do a lore rant about a druid patch. I do feel like we can get a panda, druid, and paladin patch still, where they focus on adding druids to more classes and adding paladins to more classes, doing all the Pandaren heritage stuff. And for the druid patch, we could get the Wild Gods Return. You know, I think would be a cool patch. And that could also do Darkspear Heritage too, because they were doing stuff with the Loa. You got Vol'jin, he needs his story. All that stuff. Then I did my lore rant timeline. Did I have August? See, I crossed out, it's funny. I crossed out August 5th. But I feel like it's gonna be August 5th. That's funny to me. Why did I cross out August 5th? That's so silly. Alright. Demon Sargeras, what is the truth? I actually think the 11.2 is gonna be August 5th right now. But the season start, I have the next... Well, no, I feel like... Yeah. I feel like it may be August 5th. Alright, well, we'll see about these other dates. I did a lore rant about Re-Chronicles, the greatest lie ever told. That was all about Aman'Thul and the Sargeras stuff. What's going on? Lore rant, Undermine. I was so right about some of the Undermine stuff. Harnir patch. We'll see when we actually get that. Here we go. Beladar Revelations. The Great Dark Beyond. When we got all the Hearthstone stuff. With the Great Dark Beyond and how the planets are. Hearthstone dropped some crazy cool looks. I mean, I know it's not canon, but if any of that cosmic stuff, like how suns are elementals, is kind of crazy. Because there is space stuff in WoW. Alright, we'll see how this goes. Lorant the Manifold when I was drawing my shapes. Earthen, what's next? Earthen need to do something. Here, my cosmic cube theory. Do you see how the 6 forces then form a cube? Do you see how that's a cube? Yeah. I saw that and I was like, oh my god, it's a cube. But yeah, you have spirit, fire. I think depending on the border, it dictates one thing. Because I think in the physical world, there's stuff that manifests as like matter. There's a matter version of the cosmic force. There's a matter version of the cosmic force. And there's an energy version of the cosmic force. Kind of dealio. There's some... The duality of 11.2. We'll have to see how that goes. That was my Earthen trilogy. Alright. But that's it. That's kind of all my current theories going on. We'll have to... And some of my misses, I guess, since I went back through some of the misses. But I'm excited for what we got going. So we'll have to see. Also, my greatest theory. One day we'll get it. Shadowlands 2. It'll be great. Anyways, thank y'all for listening to me rant all the time. Sorry I didn't have something more big planned. I've just been busy this week. But I do think videos like this are good sometimes to keep track of where I was thinking at a certain time point. You know? Because it's hard to remember exactly. So, when you got a chance to do videos, you can notebook it for yourself. But anyways, thanks again. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.